So I guess, hi everybody. Here we are. We're not at the Atlanta Pen Show, obviously, as you well know. I'm in my home, Brad's in his home. This is, I think, what the kids call quarantine content, Brad.
I feel like I'm at the Atlanta Pen Show, Mike. I'm surrounded by pens. I'm
Yep.
talking to you. I can't touch you. Can I touch you this way? Does that work? No. I need to give you one of these.
Oh, yeah, no touching now. No touching. Thank you so much for backing the Kickstarter campaign. This is a video that we're producing for you, showing off some of our pen collection, the stuff that we talk about kind of on a weekly basis in the Pen Addict podcast that you only either get to see in photos or don't get to see at all. Just have to listen to our wonderful descriptions for your imagination. So we thought, why not do a virtual pen showing, as it were. So, this is the kind of thing that does actually happen at pen shows. So me and Brad will bring a bunch of stuff, and in the bar in the evenings, we'll all kind of get together and show off what we brought. But this time,
I
we
only brought
get...
coffee today. I didn't bring beer. Did
Yeah,
you bring beer?
I finished coffee, and no, I think it's a bit early for both of us for beer right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
But yeah, so we get to show off some of the stuff to you that we talk about. So it's kind of like a virtual pen show, and which will be even nicer for those of you that don't get to attend those events.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to do this once because it's not that often that I'm sitting here with all of my stuff. If I come to a pen show, I'll pick out a selection of stuff, to bring and share. But I got a lot of pens sitting in front of me today. I don't know about you, but
Oh yeah,
I had to relocate to shoot this video, and yeah, I came prepared, I think.
So should you want to just start showing some stuff off? How do we want to do this? What's going to be our order?
I mean, I think our order is Sailor
Yeah.
and
I mean,
everything
if you want
else.
to start with sailors, then I can start with sailors. And I think I would like to start going in the order that I have them displayed in my my pen kind of holder here, which I'll show you.
So let's take that. Do they? Wow, look at that. I guess I should try to do that too. Mine won't be as easy to pick up as yours, but I have the cigar box
Oh, that's
storage.
nice.
So I have two of these
Yeah.
sitting here. And then I have one more Retro 51 tray, which is actually a little bit easier to pick up because
Oh, cool.
they're strapped in.
Yeah.
So
So
uh,
what I've shown you there, that is how my pens sit on my desk all the time. The pens that you just showed, are they how they sit on your desk, or are they different?
no, all these pens are in my closet. When they're
Right.
on my
Okay.
when they're on my desk, they sit like this.
Yeah, I just saw that in refill actually. That little
So
stack
like
that you have.
yeah, so this is like the current usage pens. And it's a lot of times either something I'm reviewing or testing out or, the currently inked stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I rotate out, I'll just go pick and move.
See, I have to have my pens now in like these easily accessible. Like it would frustrate me to be digging through cases to find what I'm looking for. I also have this one too. These were all made as gifts for me, by the way, but
Nice.
that's got some extras that I want to talk about as well.
Oh yeah, that's cool. One thing before we start on the sailors, when you picked up the long block, is there any type of order priority
There is
ranking, or are
exactly
they
an
just
order. No,
okay?
there is an order. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to go through it in the order. The order is not fixed, but there is like a kind of a grouping for the pens, if that makes sense. So it's not like every pen has its place, but every pen has its kind of rough place in the order. And at the moment, that order is either a combination of specialty, rareness, or like my love for those pens, So like the ones that are the most important are on the left, and the ones that are least important are on the right. And even though it sits on the left-hand side of me, the reason for that is because this thing is so long, it kind of starts to tuck behind my iMac a little bit. So the pens that are on the right-hand side are harder for me to grab. So
Makes sense. Makes
so
sense.
this like I start off with these two. These were like some Pensar cheap basket fillers that I bought. So this one is that Sailor, which is not branded with Sailor.
Yeah. Did they actually call that apricot, or was that a different one that I'm thinking about?
No, I think this is the apricot. This is the Nagasawa one. So,
Yeah, which is their kind of ink bottle logo on the top a little bit.
yeah, I wish my camera would do a good job of focusing on it, but you can kind of see it there, right?
Yeah.
So it's different. I mean, I like this pen. You can't really see, but like this is all spark. It's got a little sparkle in it, the orange. But it's one of the weirder ones for me. because it's not really Sailor brand. It's just like a curiosity.
Hmm.
But I'm not like, I like the orange of this, but I'm not like huge on the orange of this. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, this is like the regular orange compared to this. You see like the color difference.
Yeah.
This
Hmm.
orange just doesn't pop for me in the way that my other orange Sailors do. But it was like $50. It was like something. It was like super cheap, and not as cheap as this one though, which was the Port of Kobe special edition. So that actually has a little. Can you see it like a little? You can't really see it. It's like a wheel of a ship.
Oh yeah, that was the whole. Oh yeah, what's that discussion? Is that the helm? That we had very many emails about that.
But then this is just a steel nib. But
Yep.
I like the colors of this. I think that, and you notice as well, it doesn't have the regular Sailor band on it. It's just a simple band.
But it's very sailory, not the brand, sailory the person, right? It's very ship
Yo
sailor.
ho ho.
Yes.
But this has absolutely zero Sailor branding on it, like none.
Oh, okay.
Like honestly, this I believe that it is. I know that they made this pen. Like I know Sailor made this pen, but this could easily just look like a fake. Honestly, 'cause there's nothing. It's got nothing.
Yeah.
It's only just because I know that they made pens to celebrate it. But again, the blue cap has got a little bit of glitter in it as well.
Hmm.
So they're kind of like my two. They're like two curiosities that I bought when buying. Because you remember when I wanted to make an order at Pensachi, and then they didn't ship it, and they refunded me. So then I wanted to try again, but I just bought some like curiosities. This one came from it too, this purple and gold.
Yeah.
But
And that one's got the sparkles in it. Does that have sparkles?
This one does not have sparkles in it.
Sparkles.
It's because it's just like it's like a purple demonstrator.
I love that color.
Gold furniture. Yeah, this was the one that I actually wanted from that order, and then the other I kind of just threw in alongside it. So do you want to show me a few?
Yeah, I'm actually looking through my box of sailors. I only have one sparkly sailor, which I need to correct that.
I have a lot of sparkly sailors.
Yeah, and I love all the sparkly sailors, but I mean, the one that I have is the best one, right?
So that is pink. That's the original pink.
This is the original, which you know by the clover rodden at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is the original one. It's great. It's a Pro Gear Slim, but this one has a stub nib on it, which is pretty unique. I remember at the time they held that for me special, so I felt honored.
That's like an actual Sailor made stub.
Yeah,
huh.
Yeah. So it's not a zoom, or a music. It's a stub nib. I don't know what did they list on the markings here? I can't really read it on there. I should have brought my loop because it's on the side of the nib. It's very hard to read, but yeah, it's an actual stub nib on this one, and it's great. Like it's like the best color, the best. Mm-hmm. I don't know, that pink with that dark black ion plating is really
good.
Cool.
It's really good.
But that's the OG, and we're on round 3 with the latest one that you got
so
for Adina. Is that the third or the fourth?
This is the second.
That's the second.
So that was 2016. This is 2018. And then the new one's 2020. And honestly, the major differences between yours, this one, and the other is the pinkness changes.
Does it?
So yeah,
I know we can't tell.
This is a little darker, I think, than yours, and Adina's is a little darker than mine.
Gotcha.
But it has
and then
like
the finial.
Yeah,
changes.
I have a bow
What's
and
on yours?
arrow, and and Adina's is a creepy clown.
Yeah, court jester.
Yep. So mine says "Sweet Love Pink" on the band.
Let's see. It says.
And yours says like "Pink Love" or something.
No, it says "Wish you a lot of happiness."
Right. So Adina says,
"I wish you a lot of happiness,"
which is interesting. That I don't know why they changed, but this one it says on the band "Sweet Love Pink 2018."
Gotcha.
And then the nib is an Ink Tells More nib.
See, these were Sailor nibs. These were not specialty.
Yeah.
This was like one of the first ones that they did. So they were just stock Sailor stamping.
Mm-hmm.
So, another one that I definitely want to show off here because I don't show it off enough when we go to pen shows. I rarely bring it. Is the King of Pen Green Mosaic, which is super rare. Hard to find, kind of the pen that got me into the King of Pen sizes.
Yeah,
it's different than like our Pro Gear styles with the you can see the difference in materials or in the hardware, right? So this has the huge cap band, a lot more hardware. This has no hardware except for the clip.
Hold
So
those
it's
a
a
little over for me. I can't see them very well. I know as Brad is using two cameras to record
oh
this.
yeah,
Yeah, so
sorry.
this
Yeah,
is
so
like a
I
whole
need to
thing.
I got to figure out which is the spot for these. So
There's
yeah,
probably a happy medium somewhere.
I think I found it right here.
Yeah. Um,
So
remind me,
no,
this one.
mhm.
What is the deal with this one?
They did a limited edition years ago. I don't know what year it came out.
Because they did the
So
mosaics, but they were new and they didn't do King of Pen. When they found that model, when they found the additional
so
material.
the second set of mosaics that you're talking about that they did the 1911 ones
Mhm.
were well after these.
Right.
Right? So this came I wish I had the years,
So
but
did
they
you
did.
buy that used?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is pretty much the only way. Like I missed that when they originally came out. So they let's see, it was green, which is what this one is. There was a brown, there was the red, which I think is the picture one that we've seen, and there's one other one, maybe a gray. And they're just super rare, super hard to find, really, really beautiful, cool materials. And then yeah, that's that extra rod stock that they found that they made a batch of the 1911s with.
Because that style of 1911, they make other pens in that shape, don't they? Like I've seen, like the Arushi 1911s.
The Arushi King of Pens are in this shape.
Yeah.
And this is how all the King of Pens used to come. The Pro Gear is a new thing for them. Like the Pro Gear design King of Pens a newer edition for them.
And I guess
right?
the 1911 is similar, right? Like also a newer one.
Yes. Yeah. King of Pens, I think, only used to come in this shape. And they would just come black ebonite and some black Arushi. And then a few years ago, they did red and blue Arushi, which are really pretty. But they're like, the Arushi ones are like 2 to 3 times the price of this one.
Yeah, one day I would like to add one of those to my collection.
But it's a great shape. It's a fabulous pen. You can tell it's much bigger
than the Kaya, like.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what turned me on. So you can see just in the barrel how much bigger they are.
Wait, are they both the King of Pens?
Yeah.
Can you hold the nibs up?
So the nibs are the same size here.
Okay, it might have just been the way you were holding it. Oh, I see now. Yeah.
But you can see the barrel length. Let's see.
It's a bit longer. It's a touch longer. Do you have a 1911 King of Pen there?
Yeah.
Hold the 1911 up to the what is it called? The Mosaic Arushi?
Mosaic, yeah. It's not Arushi, but this is closer to the same size.
Yeah, I see that. I think the 1911's a touch longer, isn't it?
Definitely. Not than this one. Definitely compared to this one.
Okay. But it's very similar. The 1911 form factor is very similar in sizing, isn't it?
Yes. And that's why I think I like that 1911 style. That was the original. I think seeing this is what I knew the King of Pen to be, not these Pro Gear ones, right? I always knew the King of Pen to be this shape.
Yeah. I think I prefer my 1911 King of Pen to my Pro Gear King of Pen for kind of shape and weight. Yeah, I think it is a better design for a pen of that size.
Yep.
But it doesn't look as funny though.
Right. And these were at a much lower price point than these ever thought about being. Like more than half, which is probably why they did it. I'm guessing.
Guess the 1911 sits a little bit in between. Although the 1911 and the
it's
Pro
closer
Gear,
to this.
They're about the same, aren't they?
About the same, yeah. So about the same. So, and just add one more. Do you have this one out? Because
but mine doesn't look like yours anymore.
I know this one doesn't look like it anymore. So yeah, these two are the same pen.
So let me try and show you here. So we've got the you can kind of see the red cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the body, and you can see here. Look, you see the honeycomb?
Mm-hmm.
That is all inside. The honeycomb design is all inside.
That's wild.
Let me shine a light on it. That might help, actually.
That's the one I was looking forward to seeing the most.
Oh, that's a disaster. You can kind of get a bit more of it now.
Oh yeah, you can see through it now. Oh, okay, I can see it. So that was the pen I was most anxious to see when we met up,
Yeah.
because it used to look like this,
Hmm.
right? It was
And I
clear.
still have all of the finials and stuff are still blue.
Mhm. So yeah, that was blue, and then the grip section was blue.
Yeah.
But our good pal Jonathan Brooks hooked you up big time on that.
Yep.
So yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, I love this one. It's so different now. Like sailor pens don't look like this, you know.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. So speaking of extra work, like we've talked about Bookamundo on the podcast before,
Yeah.
right? Um, and similar to Brooks, like you can provide a pen and then have additional artwork applied on it. And
Yep.
I always wanted to do something, but I never knew what pen I wanted to. And I think I figured it out. But first, let me lead with this pen. Do you know what that pen is?
That isn't that the one that you
That's
got from the club thing?
Yeah. So this is the YY Studio Realo,
Yeah.
which is glorious. It's just real kind of a neat, clear frosted barrel
Yeah.
Realo.
But it has the
And
terrible band, right? Like the really
I mean,
bad.
for some people, yes, it has the
For
it
people
has
that
the
like fonts, yes.
it has the Pizza Planet band. That's what
Yeah.
I
Oh
refer
my
to it
god,
as.
yes, it looks like Pizza Planet.
So that once I realized it was Pizza Planet, it made me like it a little bit better.
Yep.
But I love this pen, but I have a second one, which this is the Bung Box Witch pen, which I don't think you can see.
I've
The
seen that one. Yeah. When did you get
So this is
that?
the Ink of the Witch. Within the past year, I bought it from a friend.
Okay.
So it's got this really subtle, and you're not going to be able to see it even if I get this close, but it's like a burgundy kind of translucency, very, very light.
Okay.
But I think since it's so light and you can't see it, I think this is kind of the perfect platform for little extra sparkle. I think this might be the Bocamundo
What are
pen.
you gonna do?
So
Do you know? Like, what are you gonna ask for?
something, something dusty, not something chunky, right? A more dusted, rodden pattern, with like
Rather than like,
rather
more.
than
Yeah.
strips of, yeah.
Do you mean
So
something like this?
yeah, yeah, something like that, something like this, a little bit.
Oh
We'll talk
yeah.
about,
Oh boy,
but
we're jumping ahead now. All right,
yeah,
let's just
jump.
do this. This is my
Okay,
3776 Galaxy. Is it Galaxy? I can never remember the exact name because it's like got like Galaxy in it, and they have one called the Milky Way, which is basically the same. But yeah,
it's the same.
this is the like uh ill-fated pen, right?
Now
That's seen the whole world.
it's back in its proper state.
There's the
So
nib.
yeah, there's the nib. Ooh, that how good is it to have that one back?
Oh, I love it, man. I'm so happy. And look, they got
Yeah,
the artist stamp
nice.
on it. I adore this pen. It's super different to my other 3776, right? So this is my other, right? It's like the
Hmm.
Lilas.
Hmm.
Because of the details with it being Urushi, right? So like
Hmm.
there's no band, so like the cap just comes off here. Like this is my first. Yeah, this is like my first actual. It's my first Urushi pen that I can compare to another pen, so I can feel the difference. Because it's my
Yep.
second Urushi pen. I'll show my other one in a bit, right?
Hmm.
But like this one was like, I know what this feels like. I know what 3776 is, and then this one is like super different. And yeah, it's very special, but it's also super. It's like it's just different in a bunch of ways, right? Where it's like here, that transition between the finial, the cap, and the body is seamless, but here there's like a bounce to it, right? Where it
Hmm.
like goes in and out. It's like stuff like that where it's like this has that handmade feeling to it, where this feels like it was made by a machine,
Yeah.
and it's just a difference. And some people might prefer the machine idea, right? Like you want it to be
Mm.
perfect, but
Mm.
this does feel like it's had hands on it, which makes it more special, especially considering how much I paid for it, right? Like it was a very expensive pen. It might be my most expensive purchase. Like this pen is more expensive now.
Yes.
right? Because I paid for it, then paid customs on it, then had it added to,
Yes.
right? So like at this point, it's way up there, but like this was the highest purchase price. And that you were just showing off is your highest
Yeah.
purchase price, right?
Yeah. And what you say about the way you can like tell the craftsmanship is true with this one too. The only difference between this one and yours is this has a brass barrel underneath, so
it
it's got
has
a little bit of weight to
I'm
it.
honestly, one of the biggest things that I am sad about that we don't get to meet up right now is I don't
Mhm.
get to see that pen because I've not
Yeah.
seen that, and I know how much you care about it, and I really want to experience it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like the perfect pen for me as
Yeah,
far
what
as
is it called
size and
again?
aesthetic and feel. See, that's where your question before about how to call yours. I believe this one is the Milky Way, but I get that wrong all the time.
Okay, I think
So
mine is
I'll have to-
is Galaxy something.
yeah, but I think mine is Milky Way, but
Yep.
they have another one that's a Galaxy one too. So I don't know.
I think
But
honestly, I think the one that came before this was called the Galaxy Milky Way, and I believe mine is called the Galaxy Starlight.
so, and yeah, like it has a little signature thing too, right? So you can kind of see
Oh,
there
that's
maybe.
beautiful. It's much
Uh,
smaller.
And then
Bigger.
you can tell like like you were talking about around the finial part, like you can tell that layering around the edge of the cap here.
Yep. All right. So
Which
mine
is
is
pretty
called.
neat.
I just checked it. It's called the Urushi Raden Galaxy Starlight, and I think
That's
it's
a
because
lot.
they've had other pens that are like this, where it's they have to keep adding in names to it,
Hmm.
and I think that would mean that yours would be the like Milky Way.
Well, there's two. Like the names are close, so now you're gonna make me look it up too.
Yeah.
So, uh,
But yeah, I absolutely adore this pen. Like I really do. The nib, I honestly like.
yeah.
I prefer the bold nib in my Lilas to the medium nib in this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just like the bold nib more because it's smoother, right?
Hmm.
So
I was
like
right. It's
that's
Milky Way.
cool. That's the 14 karat rose gold nib.
Hmm.
And this nib I was using in that pen for a while. I did a nib transplant, so I could still
Yeah.
use it, right? But
And like you were saying with the nib in yours, this one has Mount Fuji on the nib.
oh right, yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, this one's just got kind of like a lot of spirally patterns on it, right?
Mhm.
Like it looks different. But yeah, it's like it is great. Like it is fantastic. But I prefer the Wild a little bit more. I like you know what I mean? I like more springiness, more ink flow, just in general. And a medium platinum nib, it's like
that's
it's
pretty
a
much
fine.
yeah. That's like an extra fine Pelican nib.
Yeah. So you know, it is fantastic, but it's maybe not to my like typical taste.
Yep. Yep. I was talking about sparklies. I might go back to Sailor. I might go back to Pilot. Well, this is a Pilot. This one is the number one pen I wanted to show on this video.
Okay.
I think you've seen this pen before, and I never use it, and I don't have a good reason for not using it, but it's sparkly. And what it is, it's a Pilot Custom 91 that Bungbox did for the Washington, D.C. pen show. I don't know if it was the first year that they were there. So it's a really unique pen. It's got this bright blue. It's sparkly. I don't know if you can even see the sparkles though. So it's a
really.
glitter pen. It has the custom, like the Bungbox ink bottle nib
Okay.
that they do. And I rarely bring this pen out to use, and it's one of the best pens I own. And this is a dark blue section as opposed to black. And you just rarely see this pen like in the pantheon of Bungbox exclusives. It's one of the more simple ones, but you just never ever see this pen out anywhere. So I'm gonna start bringing this out more and start using it more. So it's just one of my most favorite pens, and this is when I started getting out these pens to show and tell that's like I gotta ink this one up. So this one's inked up, where like not all these are inked up. Like I have like in these trays, I have like just a couple inked up. All my inked up pens are in pen cases.
Pretty much all of mine are inked up. If they're not inked up, it means they just run out of ink. You know how I roll. But honestly, all of those pens, these pens, I will use them all about every 3 days.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, because I'm rotating between all of them, but they do a couple of them do need some inking.
Couple more things on the sailors. I want to show two pens. You know what this pen is. This was, which anniversary was this one?
Fifth.
Fifth. And then this is a stock pen. This is the Imperial Black. And I like both of these because they both have metal sections, right?
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of that with a lot of pens, but they both have the metal sections.
Well, okay. Typically, people don't get a lot, but your boy over here has a lot. I think I have 3 Pro Gears now that have metal sections.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
And it totally changes the feel of the pen. Not necessarily all for the better, depending on your tech, because it misbalances the Pro Gear because it's now heavy at the bottom. But I also really enjoy it. Oh, you have 3 too.
Yeah, but this satiny one, it feels lighter to me. I don't know why. These black ion plated feel heavier to me. Like there's a density to them that this one doesn't have.
Is it actually metal or is it just?
It's actually metal.
Okay. Yeah, I like it because it's cold to the touch. It's very different, right? And it totally weights the pen completely differently, which I will definitely say takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
But if you do,
this feels like this is substantially weighted.
Yes.
Like I can really feel this one.
Yep.
Where on the Rialo that I just had out, I can just feel it if I think about it.
Okay. Yeah, no, the whatever they do for that Imperial Black grip section, which I have on a couple of pens, that significantly changes the weight of the Pro Gear.
Yeah.
I was saying about sparklies, I do have this one. This is the Purple Cosmos.
That's a great pen.
Yeah, so it's purple with just some silver sparkle to it. That's a classic. And I really honestly like these two. They feel like they're part of a set.
Yeah, that's
right?
Cool.
I like having them together because they are effectively the same pen, but from shape and style, the amount of glitter, the glitter's the same color. This is a standard limited edition that's they lidded, and then this was the bung box one. Yeah.
So my last two, Sailor, I don't know if it's my last, but the last two I want to show.
I've got through a quarter of my Sailors.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to go through more Sailors. For all the special editions, these are probably my most used.
They're good. That's a good pair.
So this is the 1911 Tangerine Standard, so the small one. And I think it just has a stock nib, probably fine nib on there, or medium fine. Just like the perfect all day, every day writing pen. Yep. It's great. I love it. And then this is the Pro Gear regular, so the larger one. And this was the ocean color. Yeah. That was limited-ish, just a short release.
I regret dithering on the King of Pen for that.
Yeah.
I considered it and didn't do it because... And I stand by my decision in the fact that it didn't excite me like your clear blue one did. Mm-hmm. But now, having owned a couple of them, I love that colorway, and I would love the King of Pen Pro Gear in that size.
Yeah, I held off buying this one just because do I need the color? It's great, but do I need it? And then I'm really glad that I do have this one because this also has the nib that Dan Smith, I bought it from Dan Smith. He did that fine stub on it. And then I talked about it so much, he ended up putting it in the drop down for other people to buy.
Oh, really?
But someone just tweeted me last week saying, "Hey, I got this Aurora with the Brad nib on it."
Brad Dowdy special.
Yeah. Yeah. So just for pure writing enjoyment, these two are probably used more than any other pen in this whole Sailor tray. I would say. I think that's probably fair to say.
The 1911. So these are the two. So this is the Standard and the King of Pen.
Yep. So the King of Pen was your ocean, right? I didn't buy it at first, right? And then I came across one, just a couple of months ago and ended up having to buy it, right? And I'm glad that I did. I passed on it at first.
It's just sublime.
Yeah, it really is.
And, you could take a full out with that nib if you needed to.
Yep.
It's like a dagger.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have to start auditing those. What's the blade length carry in the UK? You're going to have a nib length carry.
So this is the two next to each other, so you can really see the
size
difference in the nib.
And that's the medium size one. Should I put it up with the small one? So I don't have the medium one. I have the small. So let's see that
Oh
difference.
no, I think this is the small. Sorry, I
Is
get
it?
the names wrong.
Yeah, the standard is the small for 1911, and the large is the large for 1911. So like that's the large versus the standard.
Yeah, no, I think I have the standard. It's skinny. Mine's
Yeah,
skinny.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's got to be it.
I
That's got to
don't
be it.
have any of the larger size 1911s. I
I
only
just
have one other
have.
1911, which is this highlighter one that I got from Wonder Pens.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, I don't use highlighter ink in it though, because highlighter ink sucks in fountain pens. I
Yeah,
just use like a nice green, like whatever green I'm enjoying. This is demonstrated too, which is cool.
yeah. So that's my 4 a.m. 1911 large, and then that's the regular.
Oh, that 4 a.m. is good.
Yeah,
That's definitely one I would also consider adding to my collection at some point. Because that was one of those ones where I saw it and was like, I don't know. And then the more I saw of it, the more like professional photos I saw of it, I was like, oh boy. Like, especially
yeah.
yours. Like,
That
I was like,
was
oh, I missed out on that one.
that was the one that took me to see in person to pull the trigger on. Like I wouldn't have bought that one online, but I got to see that one in person when I was at Drum Ghouls last fall. And I was like, yeah, that's a really good color.
That's my only Riallo, and it's the most boring sailor I own. It's just
That's
black and gold. But I
I
got a
mean,
really good deal on it, and I just wanted to own the Riallo filling systems. This is the piston filler with the little ink window.
yeah, you had the Riallo much sooner than I did because I wasn't going to commit to the boring black and gold pen.
Yeah,
It's like I just couldn't do it. But you got a good price on it. You got it in Atlanta.
2 years ago in Atlanta from Drum Ghouls.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me a good price. It was like the last day.
Yeah, yeah. But I held off on that one, and I'm happy with the ones I got. I don't need a bunch more Riallos though. I'm not sure that the premium's worth
I still want
price.
a Riallo that I like the design of, but I've yet to come across one that really.
No Pizza Planet Riallo.
Not up for that. This is the Spider-Man San Francisco special that I like a lot. The colors of this are very, very good because it is a very Golden Gate red. Like it is a very muted red. This also actually has the sailor's wheel.
Okay.
On the finial, but the finial is clear, which is nice.
I love that. I don't know if that's their official term is lighthouse, but when they did the gray lighthouse with the clear finials, I call all those lighthouses now, whether that's accurate or not.
And I think that fits nice for this theme.
Yeah,
and this
I think if
called, Hello San Francisco, and it says it on the.
Yeah, I think if I ever made a sailor, which I don't guess I'll ever get to do because they don't like people, I would have to lighthouse it. I just think that's a cool look, and I like that style anyway.
Oh, I have one here, or two actually, that have colored lighthouses.
Yeah, yeah, like different.
So this is one of my absolute favorites. This was another Pensacci purchase. The name is always confusing to me. I think it's called like Royal Sparkling Purple or something. But
it's a seltzer.
This has got the glitter in here is multicolored. It's not just one color.
And it looks like what's the word for the heavier gauge glitter? Like it looks like a thicker glitter. It's not thick.
It's not subtle. It almost is. It reminds me of like a Radin. It is that look. That's the look that they've gone for. So then it has like the white grip section and the gold nib, and then this is a clear acrylic in the top.
Yeah, that's a great look.
I love this one. I grab for this sailor pen very, very frequently. It's one of my most used. It's just like I love the white. The white is such a good look, especially with the purple. I'm a big fan of that one. I really love that one.
Show me the Alice because I think that's probably going to end up being a regret for me on this one. I think it's pretty great.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
I don't have many regrets because there's always other pens I can buy. This one might end up being a regret. It's very, very nice. Probably one of my favorites. I love that heavy duty Rodden finial up top. It's really chunky.
Like,
it's chunky.
Thick.
Yeah. And that white and blue and gold. I mean, that's one of the more perfect matching to what the story they're trying to tell pens is, right? Like they did a really, really good job of like Alice's dress and just the coloration. Yeah,
And
I
again,
will.
like it's impossible to see, especially because these cameras refuse to focus on anything. But there
Mhm.
is a very small hint of glitter across the entire pen.
Yeah,
Very light though.
yeah, that's a great pen. Um,
And this is the
Ish-
pen is the magic of Alice,
Magic of
and
Alice.
the ink is the tears of Alice.
Is that ink good? I haven't
I
seen
don't
the
have it.
ink.
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
buy the inks that
Yeah,
match the
yeah.
Box pens, just
I don't
because
think I have any of them.
I would have too many inks, and also I don't want to get ink shipped from Japan.
I just had a brain fart.
What
You
is
were
it?
supposed to get the 4B ink. So let's see the 4B pen. You were going to get the 4B ink in Atlanta. Yeah, boy.
This is a serious thing right here. So
That's a
this
very,
is
I will say
also
this.
the
That's a
metal.
very, very Mike pen.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is I mean, it's a very me pen, but when I see that in your hands, knowing you, that's a, that is one of the most Mike pens
Yep.
that there is.
Let me see if you can hear this. Like, no, you can't hear it. But like, it's the texture,
Yeah, that's so cool.
and and all of the furniture is blacked out, right? Like it's all murdered out, and then
Hmm.
it's got the imperial metal.
Yeah, I'm very glad you bought that pen, even
Me
though it
too.
was like crazy, crazy expensive. I'm
It
glad
was
you did.
crazy expensive.
Yeah, with all the customs and just in general, it was
It
expensive. And
was,
then
and
just
then you can't. But that's a bee, a little rodent bee, like bumblebee.
yeah, so we were gonna get you the 4B ink at the Atlanta show to go with it.
Yep, one day.
So now I should just send you a care package of stuff because I've been hoarding stuff to like I always get people to ship stuff for
Yep.
you to me to
Mhm.
hand off in Atlanta, and
Who
we didn't get to
knows?
do that this year, so
No.
I should send it to you.
But yeah, this I use Lamy Petrol in this,
Okay, that's cool.
which is great because I've never used that ink. I own that ink because it's very close to the relay blue. It's very close to the blue behind me, honestly.
Hmm.
And this felt like it needed to have a blue black in it. So
Yeah, and that's why I'm feeling that's like a very relay pen. That's a very U pen. I like that a lot.
I
I
love
like
it.
that a lot. You've seen this pen 100 times, but I'm gonna always bring this pen to pen shows.
Yep.
So this is the mango pen that we call, but this is important to me for two reasons. One, it's the Pilot PO nib, which I love so much, which you're not going to be able to tell on here. It's the kind of the hook nib, right? It's very pointy, very firm that you hate. Like you could never use this pen to write with ever.
No.
But this is like pre Bocamundo days. We had a friend of Mike Masuyama's do this artwork on there, and I got this koi artwork. And this is one of my favorite pens. This is like a prized possession of mine.
Special. So you started with just the blank.
Yeah, this is a blank Pilot 912, Pilot Custom 912, and sent it over
Literally
to
customed.
yeah, literally custom. Sent it over to Japan. Came back in mango yogurt boxes. So the people who got them, we refer to them as our mango pens.
Oh, 'cause
So that
that was
was
like
like
a
the
group
packaging.
buy, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
there was like 5 to
Yeah.
7 of us, maybe.
I remember because I think I was offered to go in on that, but I was too
Mhm.
nervous about it.
Yeah. Plus, you had to get your pen there on your own, where we grouped them with one shipment. So yeah, that's one of my favorites.
This was a pen that I just got back this morning for this stream and will be leaving me again
And where did it go?
to Adina.
That's what I knew the answer to that.
This is the Orange Jet.
Or Jet.
It was funny this morning. I was like, can I have that back for the stream? She's like, yeah. And she's like, can I trade it for another one? It's like, no, this is not how this works. You can take this one back if you want to, but I like this one.
Do you have the Tequila Sunrise?
No.
Because if those two pens were sat next to each other, I don't know which one I would pick. They're both very, very cool for me.
I like the orange and brown.
Yeah, that's a good look. That's a great look, actually. Is that a zoom nib on that? I can actually see the nib. Yeah. How many zoom nibs do you have in your Fancy Sailors? Several, I think.
I have one. I think I have 3.
Okay.
Because again, it's like I like zoom nibs. Yeah, the San Francisco's a zoom, the 4B is a zoom, and the Orange Jet is a zoom. And it's because
Cool.
most people don't go for them, but I like them. Oh, I
bet
also
that-
have a. Do I have a zoom in this one?
That 4B with the zoom is pretty cool. I think that's a good call.
That thing is like the thickest line. It's great. It's very good, but it will deplete the ink reserve very quickly.
That's
But
good.
I
That's one
love
problem
it.
I have.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
Oh, I forgot about one more sailor I have because I have it in this different box. So I'm gonna show you this box here. This is, let's see
Oh,
if you can see that.
yeah.
That's all. They just slid down. It's
This is a
mostly
special box. I can
mostly the
see some Nakayas in there.
Nikayas. I got my Canalea. I got a Dana Trio. But this one in the back here in the kimono is a sailor. This is the pen I'm looking for the sailor specialty nib for, right? One of the big fancy nibs, like the
big
$300
stacked
nibs.
ones.
Yeah, because this is a very large ebonite pen that they did for 105th anniversary sailor.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a big honking pen. It's beautiful.
When
You can
did you
see
get that?
it's been a few years now. I'm trying to get the angle right. Let's see. But it's like a stacked ebonite. I don't know if you can see it in the camera at all. But like it's blue and black layers.
Yeah.
So it's this very, very unique
Yeah,
design.
it's beautiful.
And like the nib is great.
It's not a twist.
No, it's a pull.
No, see, I've never used a sailor pen with a pull nib before.
Yeah. It's very snappy.
That's special, yeah. I agree. Finding something really special nib-wise for that would really set that pen off.
Yeah, so I have like a perfectly fine, extra fine nib in here, but this pen deserves to have...
And nib's too small for that pen.
The nib's too small. It is. Because this is a huge pen. Let me show you this.
That's a king of pen. That should have a king of pen nib in it.
It should. And I don't... Let's see.
You know what? I'm lying about a bunch of stuff here. About like pull nibs and stuff. I have a pull nib. Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not lying. I was telling the truth.
So can you see how much bigger it is than my biggest king of pen?
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, it's a big pen.
Yeah, that would make a king of pen nib look small even.
Right. So I want to get a different nib for that pen because I love the pen. It's a little hard for me to write with a pen this size with an extra fine nib. It's just I need a little bit more movement, and that extra fine is just a little tiny.
It's going to restrict you too much.
We're working on that. I have working on getting that done.
So this is my last sailor.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
This is the Japan steel that I got from. What was the company?
I cannot remember. It was a one-off type of company that I'd. Oh, okay. You got it through Wancher, but they didn't do it. Some other company did it.
Wancher was part of it, though, I think.
Part of it. Gotcha.
So
this pen,
this is similar, right? Like, this deserves a bigger nib on it.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. So, like, every time I see that pen in person, I enjoy it more than, like, the pictures of it. Like, I've gotten to see a couple of them, and I always like it better than I thought I would like it. So yeah, that's a cool pen.
It's very special. I'm so pleased that I bought this.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird and different.
It is weird. And that one's snap caps, right?
No, it's not. I thought it was.
It doesn't.
It snaps on this side.
Okay.
Right. So it's a screw.
So it's a twist there.
Yeah, and then
it
snaps on here because then it's like this weird. Like again, this is what they're going for, like a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is what this is meant to evoke.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called steel.
Now that you say that, I guess that is my only snap cap sailor.
I've never seen it. That's why it's a surprise to me. I've never seen a snap cap sailor.
And it's a really good too. It's like it's not janky at all. It's very solid and clicky and very, very good.
So now, like for me, I mostly have I have Canaleas and some curiosities that I wanted to show.
Nice. I'll show some Nakayas. This is the one that if you've seen me at a lot of pen shows, I brought this one a bunch. This is my first Nakaya, the portable in Ao Tamanuri, which I don't know if you'll be able to see the green.
The green, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's black and green, and it's got a fine cursive italic nib. It's like everything I want a pen to be. It's just like a pure experience using this pen.
Green, like the green is just a hint. It's only on the edges, right? You don't see it on the body of the pen.
It's very subtle. You can see it a little bit on the cap band, maybe. But it's very subtle. It's very nice. Just one of my favorites. And I bought the same model, but with a clip in the traditional red and black. So you can see the red a little bit more.
Oh,
but this is my.
Can.
So like that's the color that originally got me into Nakayas, right? You see pictures of these and you're just like, oh man, that's pretty spectacular.
Oh, by the way,
and
I just popped some Mike Hurley lore into the frame. These are the shoelaces. If you know my shoelace story, about like my shoes breaking and deciding to quit my job.
Oh yeah.
That's the shoelace that broke. But anyway,
I don't see them. They're just off frame for me.
you don't
gotta
see
put
them,
them.
but I think they're in
Okay.
the video. Let's see if I can bring it in. You see it?
Cool. Oh, nice. Oh, that's
Right,
classic.
I'm on my com.
Yeah, that's a great story. Then I have these two piccolos, which are great colors.
The orange
So this
one
is
it.
So this is the orange. This is the, what do they call this? Nagoro?
I don't know the Japanese name, but I know the English translation, which is that nothing is perfect.
Yeah. Like a wabi sabi, but there's a official name for it. I want to say Nagoro for this style of artwork. So it's like cracked, but like purposefully. So they like layer the depth into this when they're building the layers of lacquer onto the pen, and it continues into like the grip section too as well.
When I do at some point in my life get an Akira, it will be a version of that one.
Mm-hmm. So they make this model in that cracked. So this colorway in that cracked one, the Nagoro. I forget the name of this color,
which is very Darth Maul like.
Yeah. So this is cool. This is the brown and green. I forget the name of this one, but it's just a brilliant color.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And this one has like a broad nib that I stubbed. And this one has an extra fine. I use this one. I have platinum carbon black in this one because it's really tiny nib. And I just kind of like that with the orange and black of the barrel. It doesn't line up every time. So it's like multi-threaded and it drives me crazy. It lines up, but you have to figure out where the spot is.
As long as it does line up, because like I have pens that look like they should and they don't. Like they do not line up. Yeah.
It does, but it's like a triple start thing. So it's all over the place until you find it. The one I've been using the most recently, which case is it in? Is the Kikyo Blue Piccolo. So same pen style shape as those, but just a solid color, rhodium plated clip and nib, stock extra fine nib. This is just like I write with this one. And I use the Mount Fuji cartridges, the platinum cartridges with the Mount Fuji water in this. It's like the perfect color for this.
That's good. So what is that, 5 Nikayas you have?
No, because I haven't showed you them all yet.
Oh my God, Brad.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just 6. There's only one more. Okay. This is the outlier, right? This is the big brush. This is the hairline black, which I love. I'm shocked how much I like this pen.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's a big honking pen, but it's got a big nib on it too. So it was really nice. I like it.
Feels like it's made of fiberglass to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's wild. So, okay, 6 Nikayas. And then 2 more Urushi pens. This is my Stilo Art Kenpaku. This is just a beauty. What's the gold leaf under like this amber color, and what Stilo Art does is you get the pen, and then I got a Pilot nib section in here. So this is a Pilot stub nib that Matoshi put in there for me, which I think is a really neat option with the Stilo Art. This is just one of my favorites just to look at because it's so well done. And then I have a Dana Trio. It's a very basic one. Dana Trios generally make gigantic pens. This is considered one of their small pens, which is like normal size. And it's just very basic and has like a small nib on here, but it's really cool. It's got the artist signature there on the...
I'm not a big Dana Trio guy.
I like some of the patterns, but I don't like the pen shapes. So like I like the artwork on the barrel, but the shape of the pens generally don't do it for me. They're big and chunky, which is not my style. To finish off that collection, we have the 2 G10 Edison pearls. I keep those in there because they're piccolo style, right? They're made from that piccolo.
Are these the pens that don't exist, but you have them?
Yeah. So I take pictures of this one a lot because I use it all the time. The black one I don't use as much, but I use this one all the time. It's inked up right now.
Delrin, right?
Yeah, it's called G10. It's called G10. It's basically like fiberglass on the interior. Like you can see in the threads, right? The threads aren't super clean because it's like this fibrous material inside of it. But it's like a rock. Like if you take it like this, like you can just do this with these pens. like there's no scratching, no breaking, no anything. Like I wouldn't do that with any
And
of my other pens,
if
right?
I remember the story correctly, they were prototypes that Edison were thinking of making, but it was just too hard to machine the material,
Yeah,
right?
it
Oh,
destroys the
didn't it break his
machinery.
lathe?
Yeah, it just destroys the machinery. So it's not gonna happen. Every time I know I cause him problems every time I take pictures of them because
Yep.
people want to know, and I was like, you're just gonna have to email Brian because I think I know the answer, but I'm not gonna answer for him.
So I haven't shown one of the jewels of my collection,
Okay.
which is Pilot M90. Which I think I will argue forever that this is the most beautiful fountain pen ever made.
Mm.
Because the simplicity of this cannot be denied. So, in case you've never seen one of these or you don't understand what's going on, that fountain pen nib is built into the body. The body and the nib are one piece. And it should not perform as well as it does because of that. But it is an absolutely perfect pen. This is the pen of all of my pens that like I could leave unused for like 2 months and it will start writing within a couple of seconds. Like it's very special. Even at this size, it's usable for me. But I will typically post it. And it's one of the only pens that I will post, but that's just because it is very well rated for the post. The only thing I would change on this pen is the blue little jewel on top. I don't understand why they did it, but
Yeah,
it
you
is
need to get
yeah.
you need to get an original Mew
Oh,
just
I
to
know.
compare it to. Yeah, because I purposefully brought my Murexes because I knew you would have the M90 out. First question is, do you have a second M90? Like, do you have a
Yeah,
backup
I have
M90?
two
That's what I thought.
M90s. Yeah, this
Yeah.
I bought. Can't remember where. I think it might have been on eBay, maybe. And then the second I bought from Thomas Hall. He had an extra,
Gotcha.
and then I bought it from him because I spoke about wanting to have a backup of this pen because you can't get it anymore. So yeah, I have another one
Yeah.
in a drawer in its box.
Yeah, I don't know any other pen that I would like have a backup of, but that one actually makes sense to have a backup of.
I
I wish
would
I knew
be
how many they made.
heartbroken if
Yeah.
something happened to that pen more than
Yeah.
some of my other ones, but just because it's like I love it so much, and I just don't think that Pilot are ever going to make another version of it because they didn't. So the fact that they
Yeah.
didn't do it for their 100th anniversary suggests to me that they're not interested in it.
Yeah, two things Pilot does very well that no one's been able to duplicate is the vanishing point retractable mechanism and the integrated steel nib. Other people make other integrated steel nibs, but it's
it
not
is a
the same.
design that exists, but those, in my experience, the integrated design is detrimental to the experience of using the pen. For some reason, on the
For the
M90,
majority.
yeah, that's what
In a
for the
mass
majority of them.
production.
But for some reason, the M90 elevates it, and I don't know how they managed to do that.
So that's what the Murex does too. Speaking of Thomas Hall, he gave me this pen. I prefer the Murex over the M90. I wish I could tell you why. I don't know why. But I just do. Maybe it's the grip section. Maybe it's the
probably
length
the
of the barrel.
size. But
Yeah.
I don't find the Murex as attractive as the M90.
Sure, definitely. I agree with that. It's more basic for what it is. I mean, it's still like really uniquely designed. But what I don't know that I've ever shown you is the red Murex, which
Ooh.
is the skinny. This is the for ladies version of the Murex, which is just terrible. But you can tell the size. It's a little bit skinnier, a little bit shorter. I mean, this is a tiny pen to begin with, but I'm pretty sure this was marketed as the slim version
For your pocketbook.
Yeah, for your pocketbook and your purse,
Yeah.
type of thing. But I was given that pen, both of these pens by good friends, so I love them both. I'll go to bat for the Murex over the Mew, but I get the M90. I use the Murex way more than I use the M90, but I think the M90 is a much more unique design and a much more special design. That's the one that would be in the museum as opposed to the Murex. I just use the Murex.
Didn't the Mew have lines in it?
I mean, they make some with lines in them. They make all kinds of stripe versions.
Yeah.
So this is neither a Mew or a Murex. It's an Elite, but they make these barrels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Mew and the Murex have black stripe. There's one called white stripe where
Yep.
the lines are. I mean, then we're talking like into thousands of dollars
Yeah.
for pins. Like this is neither of those pins. This is a more basic. This was a inlaid nib, not an integrated nib, but
Right.
still a beautiful pin. But like for example, this is more like $200, where the M90s these days, the current M90s are like $400 to $500. The vintage Mew, the basic vintage Mews are probably more like $250, but like the black stripe and white stripe Mews probably go from like $600 to $800. Same with the
when
Murex.
they're inlaid like that, which is that you see that design in a lot of vintage pens, it just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. It's not the same for me.
Yeah, I would want a Mew and a Murex with the black stripe. Like that would be like Grail type stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally do that if I could find a good quality. It's just, I mean, they're getting close to 50 years old now, some of the first ones. So at least some of the stripe ones are over 40 years old, and just finding I don't mind paying the price if I can get a good condition, and it's just not a possible thing. Like you just don't see them. So it's pretty great though. I mentioned along those same lines, this is the classic Vanishing Point in black faceted. I think you've seen this one. I brought this to the Atlanta Pen Show before. So it's a black faceted. It's a plastic barrel as opposed to like the new metal barrels that they make nowadays, right? So this is the rare orange one.
I have
so
a plastic
it's the skinny
faceted original style. Jeff gave it to me.
Yeah, with like an integrated nib, right? See how the nib is built into the pen?
The clip.
The clip, sorry. The clip is built into the pen.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to being an external piece.
Yeah.
So these are very, very sought after. It's called the black faceted Vanishing Point. You can still find them, but they're one of the more rare ones. But like this orange one is way more expensive than this, just because they didn't produce that many of them. It was their special edition like a decade ago, type of thing. So that's one of my favorites. I have two orange Vanishing Points that I use more than this black faceted one. The other one is the bung box one that they did. So that's a bung box Vanishing Point, which is just great. It's kind of
nice.
Kind of swirly on the material. So I wish they'd do more Vanishing Points. They do a lot, but they haven't done one recently.
What? Oh, I know what. Oh, talking about Kiridas.
I'm still kind of jealous of that. I supposedly have a red one on the way.
Yep.
They finally arrived in the States last week, according to the distributor, and they got, I think they said 1/3 of their requested order. So I don't know what's going on with that. Are you continuing to use it and like it?
I use it way more than I like it.
That's fair. I understand that statement.
Because I have realized that I really like the speed of
Mm-hmm.
and I'm ready to write.
Yeah. But there's a bump in your hand.
It's this right, like I can't deal with this.
They hid that so well in their marketing. I'm kind of angry about it. You know, when I went back through the marketing, I think we talked about this on the podcast. When I went back through the marketing pictures, the only picture that is in a hand drawing, like a graphic drawing, not in a photograph. It's like in a black and white drawing where it's kind of hidden.
Yep.
None of their marketing photos have that shown. It made me kind of mad. All right, so I brought something I think you've seen before, and I'm really bringing it out here. Do you know what this is?
Is that a Conid?
It's a Conid. Do you own a Conid?
No. Thomas is always trying to get me to buy one because he tells me that, like, and it's true, like, you can get a lot of ink in them, but that's just not really a big enough selling point for me.
Well, he's the Conid super fan because you can take the nibs and like he swaps in and like hot swaps all these nibs into like vintage nibs or like the pilot posting nib, you know, that I love and things like that. So
how is that the case that you can put so many nibs in that pen?
Well, you can't. It's not that. They're like doing some real work where like modifying the feeds and like heat setting nibs. And it's not like 101, 201 level work. It's
901.
doctorate level, master's degree type work. But the pen itself is just an awesome writer, awesome
Yep.
feeling pen. It's very king of pen size and feel. It's a very, very great writer. I don't know. I just love this pen. I don't use it enough. Maybe I should manipulate.
What nib do you
Let's
have
see.
in it?
It's just a stock steel, probably extra fine.
Okay.
Yeah, they use Bach, but I've gotten the Bach titanium nibs before. I think probably what I need to do is just get a titanium nib that I like ground. All the titanium nibs are really good, but I have to get them ground into like a stub to enjoy them. So that's probably what I'll do with that one eventually. This is a pen I don't use enough, and this is the Sailor. Oh, excuse me, Sailor. The Pelican M805 Ocean.
Yeah, that's
Ocean
a beautiful pen.
It's just a stunning pen. So along with the pilot from earlier, I inked up both of these. I inked up both of these pens. Getting all of my pens out, going, boy, I sure do love these pens. So I've inked both of these up to use.
I often feel like I should have more than the one Pelican that I have, and that should have been the one that I went with.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And I just have like a stock extra fine nib. I could get something done to it if I wanted to, but it writes really well.
That's difficult to buy online. Like also, every single one of those that I've seen is a little bit different.
Yes, totally. And like for mine, I have to line up the swirls on it. That's another one I have to line up. So like now it's lined up. Like you can see there, then it goes into dark pattern, then light pattern, then dark pattern, which is cool. Like I like it, but you do have to line it up.
Along a similar vein, I guess. Canaleas.
Yeah.
4.
Where'd mine go? Hang on. Oops. Let me get mine. I forgot mine. Yeah. Nice. Look at you. So, do we both have Hanoma Bay? Is that one of yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
But ours is very different. Mine has like the huge window in it.
Yeah. And mine has a smaller window, but up towards the top. Whoops, I'm not on camera. Yeah, yours is massive. Mine is medium, which I love. I think it's a great pen. That's my favorite. Like this is the one that I own.
So this is one that's had a bit of an accident.
That
I've been meaning to get. Like, basically, my plan was just to take it to a pen show whenever I see Hugh and Carol next and have them fix it for me. Mm-hmm. Can you guess what the accident is?
No, it's hard to see.
I lost the feed. That's the back. This is the back.
It's like an optical illusion. Yeah. No. How did you do that? I see it.
I dropped it on the desk, and it was cold in my office, and snapped right off.
You can get a Yovo feed out of another pen that you have.
I agree, but I don't know how to get it out.
It's easy.
But look, it's like sheared right off.
It's easy.
Okay.
I promise.
All right.
I can help you get that out over the phone.
All right, cool.
It would be easy.
Yes, it's just like one of those things where it's like I know I got to fix it someday, but I just haven't gone around to it yet.
Yeah. It's just one of those things you have to be brave enough to just pull it and know that you're not going to do any damage.
All right, but yeah.
That's all.
That's where I am with that one. It is kind of funny though. Like it looks normal here and here, but here you can see something's wrong.
Yeah. You flipped it so quickly, I couldn't tell. Did I see in your stack of pens something that looked like one of these guys? Yeah. So you have the lava. Is that a lava?
Yeah.
Rollerball ballpoint. Oh, it's a mechanical pencil. Cool.
Yeah.
So I have the lava fountain pen.
I have that too in my cabinet over there.
Yeah, it's a great pen. I don't use it enough. It's just one of those things like I'll always have. They feel so good. They're so nicely done. I wish Rotring would come back and do these, even if it's just the basic. Not even have to do the lava one. Just do these silver ones. Yeah, even though it has a gold nib, which is kind of a weird look.
I wanted to demo my Canaleas a little bit more. So this is the Maui Makai. This is my first one, and this is eyedroppered, so you can see.
Nice.
You see it floating around in there, just in here.
Very cool. What color ink is in there? Do you know? Do you even know? You don't know that.
I don't like the ink in this one. It's like a burgundy. I wanted to try it out.
Okay.
But I don't like the ink very much. But I haven't swapped it out for a while. I'm kind of just letting it go down rather than dumping it out, just because it's such a
It's
It's
a lot.
more
Yeah.
of a palaver because I have to undo it and I have to get the silicone grease out and I have to grease it up and like it's
Yep.
like a whole thing. So
Yep.
I'm just running it down. Then this is the Haleakala silhouette, which this is my favorite.
And tell us not why it's your favorite, but why that's a special pen, which
Oh
I'll
yeah.
never let you forget.
So this pen was the pen that they used in the photographs on the cover of Pen World.
Pen World, yeah, it's the cover boy.
Yep, and I just picked, and they had it for sale in DC, and I picked it up, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's the one we put on the cover." This pen is so awesome. I love the yellow, and then it's got like it's hard to see, but there's like a pink inside of here. This is an absolutely fantastic pen, and it has a rose gold nib, and I got a rose gold finial too, which are extras for this Canalea. Yeah, I adore this one. I think that this, plus this is got like personal meaning to me because like we honeymooned on Maui and could see Haleakala volcano from our hotel.
Cool.
And then this is the most recent one, and the name escapes me.
Yes. But it's the awesome purpley depth one.
With the crazy
And
blue.
yours has the lagoon in it. It's wild.
I have a couple of spots in this which like defy the laws of physics. Like I don't understand. Like here and there. They're like super deep. It's super awesome. It's a very special pen. I love
the name.
This is we spoke about this, but these are Jonathan Brooks materials, and these are somebody else that we don't know.
Yep. Aolani,
that's it. Yeah,
full material.
like you can see that these are different, but they're all in the same vein. And I like these. They're like separate styles, and I like both styles. They took a gamble. I mean, they probably had to in changing them up. But I think that this still says Canalea, even though it's different to these. And I kind of like that they've got kind of two waves of their pens now.
But you can still get any of them. They're like all available. Most of them are.
Yeah. But it's like just different styles. I want to see if you remember this. Do you remember this?
Oh, absolutely. I have two of those. I have the original Rock, which is this. So this is the TWSBI 540 Rock, which stood for Republic of China, which means Taiwan. And they had an original one, which I have, and I'm very careful with because that was one of the main fragile ones in the very beginning, right? It would break, crack.
This was
then they did a reissue.
Fixed.
Yep. Then they did a reissue model a couple years later, which I have as well. So yeah, those sit in a pen case in my closet unused.
I don't remember
because I think they're really, really neat.
The original or the reissue.
I think that finial is the original.
But it says 2011 on the
That sounds right.
band here.
Because the finial's different on the reissue
Yes,
one.
this is the original. Because wasn't the reissue an American version?
They did two finials. They did a
Right.
flag, and then they did a different style.
Yeah, I was
But
surprised.
I believe that's the
'cause
original.
I broke the grip section.
This
Just
was
in
one.
general usage, like it
Yeah.
just snapped. And I sent it to TWSBI, and they replaced it for me, which I thought was super awesome for free.
So I've never broken mine, but I've also been not using it, as I should. So
Tiny, tiny, tiny nib on this pen.
yeah,
Love it though.
they're great. I was just noticing the other day. I was looking for something else. I was like, oh, look at those TWSBI rocks. Yeah, that's cool. This one has a little bit of a sad story to it, which I don't want to, I don't want to bring it up too much, but I love these pens so much. So this is the Fagionato pen, and Mr. Fagionato passed away like a year or two ago, and there's no more pens, and I didn't get enough of these. I bought this at the Atlanta Pen Show a year or two ago. Papier Plume sells them, was selling them, and they were just starting to like get into popularity. And I just love the look, feel, the colors of this pen are just spectacular.
The colors are great.
The way
I don't
it
like
feels.
the clip, but the colors.
Yeah,
are
I like
amazing.
the clip. I like the clip because I like it's a little bit fancy, but it's really dead simple. It's just got a little turn up, and this is actually a plated titanium nib, which I hadn't seen before. So it looks like you're just standard steel, like silver plating, but it's a titanium nib underneath it, which is a really unique type of thing.
It's got that kind of squeaky
It's got that little
squishiness.
bounce, yeah, bounce to it. Just absolutely adore this pen. I wish I had a few more of these pens.
I have. This is cool. I like this pen a lot. This is the like collaboration effectively between Jonathan Brooks and Sean Newton.
Yeah.
So this is Primary Manipulation 3, I think.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers.
2 or 3, but this was a Sean Newton pen.
Is that a Shinobi? Does it have the flat side?
No.
I don't know the model.
I don't.
It looks like a
model.
Shinobi has the flat ends and then one skinny flat.
Does not have the Eastman.
Okay. Eastman. Okay.
Is the name of this. Love this pen.
I love that. Love it.
Love this pen. This is the longest I've ever waited for a pen.
Yeah.
You know, like I put in the order and it was just like I just had to wait for it, right? But that was part of why I wanted to do it because I hadn't done that before. This is my only Newton pen, and that feels like almost like a rite of passage anyway. What I love about this pen is the finial, like the layering.
Yeah.
There is a chocolate bar called the Cadbury Flake.
I mean, I'm familiar with Cadbury, but I haven't seen the flake.
And it's like that. It's just like lots of ribbons of chocolate that you bite into. And it's super crumbly. Reminds me of that. But yeah, I love just looking at this. It also reminds me of kind of like if an artist is done with a palette and the paint is just all over the place.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that because it's got all these wild color swirls in it.
Yep.
Primary manipulation in its multiple forms, because Jonathan has done multiple color iterations now. I think that's his best work. That model, like just this weirdness that he does with the colors here, it's stupendous.
Yeah, and it's my favorite, and I don't own one. And I think it's always because like I see them at the beginning of a pen show, and I was like, okay, I'll come back and grab one in a little bit, and those are always like the first to go, right?
Just the most interesting looking. And this is my other one other Brooks pen that I have. I have one more. This is the one that he made for me and Brad. At Atlanta 2017, 2018, maybe?
Not 2018, probably 2017.
Okay. Yeah, and this is a gift. And
I need to move that pen to a permanent home on my desk.
You can't see this, but the Pen Addict logo is stamped into the nib. You can
there it is. You got
see it there.
And
I think we both started crying when he gave us this pen.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a Rushi, and it's beautiful. It's one of my favorites.
When Jonathan was getting started with Urushi too.
Yeah.
It was one of his first Urushi pens, like the design. Yeah, I absolutely adore this pen. And obviously I have your ink in it.
Yep. Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect combo. Oh, I love that pen. I need to give that pen a permanent home on my desk because it has the lacquered box with the logo on it too, right?
Yep. I keep I don't have it in the box, but I've kept the box.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Obviously, I had to show a Retro 51. People were saying they wanted to see my Retro 51 collection. My Retro 51 collection is in the Kickstarter video. I've laid them all out on the ground and took some video of them. But yeah, this one's super nice. It's super weighty.
Yeah, that was one of the more popular ones. So this is kind of like we're in the Atlanta pen show section. I love that. I adore that pen. I will not lie; it did not sell as well as some of the other ones. I use that more than any retro I have.
This is a very specific aesthetic. It is almost like a gamer's aesthetic, right? Like that kind of like vaporwave pastel colors.
That's why I made it.
I understand what like this would sell in certain markets. I think like this was a crossover of passions for you that maybe didn't translate to most of the audience. I don't know. Yeah,
which is fine. Like that's why I do it, right? Because I do it because I want to use it, and I love Susan anyway, and she's just super cool. We're talking about a lot of the Atlanta pen show pens. Like I bought that Fagianato at Atlanta. This was this is one of the sad things we're missing in Atlanta, so we don't get to see all these cool makers. This is the Matthew Martin titanium pen that I bought at last year's show when we kind of discovered Matthew and his work. You open this up and you go, oh, where's the nib? And I'm going to show you why this is a cool story. It fits the Yovo nib, so I use this one particular SIG Franklin Christoph nib. And one of the reasons I'm sad we're not at the Atlanta Pen Show It's because that nib's in this pen, which is my Iron Feather Creative, and I wanted you to meet Brian this year. So Brian was going to be there, and you can see this is the one with my owl roll stopper. It's this Brooks material that there's no way you can see the depth in the camera and the lighting. There's some red in here, which you can't see, but I swap out the nib because they use the same Yovo fittings. But I don't know. This is why I'm a little bit sad that we're not in Atlanta because,
I haven't seen those.
Didn't get to introduce everyone to Brian this year, which we'll get the chance. We'll get the chance later, but he was going to be there. I got the chance to sit with him in Baltimore. Really enjoyed him, meeting him and his wife. And I think you would totally love his pen.
His thing is the roll stops, right? Like that's the thing that he does.
But then he does some standard pens too, and then he'll do some his original thing is the carving of the pen barrels, right? The intricate like feather designs and things like that, and then the roll stops, and then just standard pens with kind of neither, but just like unique like Brooks materials and his pen shapes. That's the one thing I miss the most about Atlanta this year is seeing all my maker friends like Ryan Krusak, Jonathan Brooks, Matthew Martin, Brian. Yeah, like super miss seeing all our peeps, Mike. Let's see, what else do I got? I think that's. I take that back.
Mark 1. My Apollo's on the way, but
actually, that's what I wanted to show. Like I got my pin cases now. So my Y Studio, my brassing, it stays inked pretty frequently. Like I love this pen. It's just cool.
Until I've one of these to my collection soon.
Yeah, I've kind of getting a really good patina on the grip here just because I use it so much. It's a brass grip, so you can tell it's kind of all discolored, which I love. And I just like how it feels. Like this is a really cool one.
That's why I want that
one. And then this group of pens. Let me get this out of the way. This group of pens. This is who's this? Ganbury. I always forget the name of this pen case. I bought this pen wrap in Baltimore. It's a really neat leather wrap.
I like the color inside.
Garny. Yeah, that's why I bought it, right? Because like it's pretty cool. Really bright. And I like the yellow stitching. These are kind of the pens I've been using the most like right now.
Okay.
So my two Leonardos, I've had these inked up and in use because I've been reviewing them, reviewed this pen, reviewed this ink color that's in this pen, and they're just great writing pens. Like they're really, really cool. I think people who have not used them will really enjoy them. They're great pens.
Yeah, I want to try those out. Like I pause at the bands around the cap. I'm not a big fan of that design.
Yeah, I get that.
But the pen bodies look so cool.
The all-time classic 823, which is just another great pen. I have this inked up with Konpeki. It's very bright because I have a fine.
Is that a piston?
It's a vacuum. So it's got a complete rod in here, which you probably can't see. And then you just pull it back and you snap it down and it fills up the whole thing. It's pretty great. Great functionality. This is probably, if I had to answer the question of what's the last pen you bought, I bought this Montegrappa Elmo. You might like these. They have these really bright materials. They're really nice. And like I said, I've been liking what Montegrappa's been doing ever since they switched to the Yovo nibs. I've been very, very happy with them. This is a really neat pen. It's like under $200. It's like the Leonardo. It's just like a good quality steel nib pen.
Design to the Leonardos.
Yeah, so very subtle. Like not a lot of hardware on the exterior, if you will. Sorry, keep dropping it down. So very thin cap band and clip, and that's it.
And the body material is really fascinating. Like it's got those dark blue lines through it. That's really good looking.
And it looks even better in person. And then they have a couple of other colors as well as the blue, but I bought the blue one. And then the last case, so like this case has been living on my desk.
Elmo?
ELMO,
red one?
No, and I don't know why it's called that. And like I can't remember the name of the pattern. It's like really long and confusing. So last one, my Superior leather case that we got from Toronto. This is where my metal pens are, right? So like that's the one you're waiting for.
Oh boy, that looks good.
It does look good. It's even thuddier than the.
It's just got that metal like ting to it.
Then my two Ajodos, which I always bring to show, like, here's a pen that here's a pen that I love that you may not love, and I don't know that I can recommend to you, but here they are, and here's why I like them. So like this ebonite one, like you never got to try the ebonite one, right? Yeah, so stainless steel and ebonite. This weighs like a quarter of what this one
Yeah.
weighs. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I just have the OG Ajoto.
Yep,
I really want to try that ebonite one. That looks fascinating. That was
it's awesome.
expensive, right?
Very expensive, like mid 200s. Like, and the last pen, Mike, is the pen I bring to every pen show, and you don't know what it is until I do this.
There it is.
There it is. So I figured we could end it on this. This is the pen type B.
The way that the tolerance is on that, unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I bring it just so people can feel what this feels like when you use it, and it's just glorious. I use this all the time. I have a little idea notebook that I use, and because it fits the Pilot High-Tech C, which not a lot of people love, and I totally get that, but I use the 0.3 Pilot High-Tech C in that, and it's got this teeny tiny black line, but the pen itself is what really makes it awesome. So yeah, I don't know. That's
some show and tell.
That's some show and tell. I think I showed you.
Oh, I have one more.
Maybe half of my fountain pens.
A couple more actually. So this is the Sky at Night.
Ooh, yeah, that's a famous one. That's a famous
matching
one.
Stand.
Yeah, you got to name that pen.
I did.
Jonathan and Brian told me I could name that black one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they said it probably wouldn't be worth it because that's probably the only one he'll ever do.
Oh.
So there won't be another one. So it's like no point.
Think Jonathan still makes pens in this material.
Yes.
So it's the Sky at Night, which I got to name, which I love.
You need the Carolina blue ink for that. Do you have his ink?
I don't, but I should get that.
Yeah, that's the perfect match for that.
I have a spoke pencil.
Oh, spoke pencil. I got disclosure, I'm part of the company. But yeah, the Joker. The spoke pencil inverted grip. When Brian showed me that, I don't know if you've seen these online. I was like, okay, like I see it, it's cool. Like that's fine. Let's do that. And then he sent me one, and I'm like, I need all my pencils in this inverted grip. I didn't think it would be as good as it is, and it's really freaking good. You'll have to go look it up. I would have brought that to you. In Atlanta. I love what we do at Spoke. I'm very happy with the pens. The Pikachu pen. This was a classic. People still look for these. Does yours make noise still, or is it just the box that makes noise?
I have another one.
That's right. That was more of an accident, right? Yeah. Though, right? Like you had two irons in the fire and just ended up taking both, as opposed to like hunting down a backup, right?
Yeah, I got one, and it was basically like multiple people because I wanted it so bad that I went with like 2 offers to get me one, and then just got both of them.
Yeah. So you want to know?
Cool.
You want to know a secret?
What?
I have one too.
Do you?
But I've never opened it. Yeah, I just thought it was so cool. Maybe give it to the kids one day if they get into Pokemon or something. But it's still in the box. Like I had to go like shove it away because the box was talking.
This thing is no joke. That is heavy.
Yeah,
like, this is really heavy. It's a very well made set, and so I just keep that on my desk. I never use it, but I love to look at it.
Yeah. Yep. If I was at home, I would show you all my little extra desk accessories. Oh, I do have a Retro 51 here at Studio B. I keep the play ball here at Studio B, which is baseball, one of my favorites.
I have some little accessories I can show you. I
use this all the time.
Relay FM Challenge coin.
Yeah.
And my Pen Addict membership.
Yeah. Oh, I do have that too. I keep that here. I fidget with that when I stream.
My James brand knife.
That's a nice one. I like that handle color.
That's why I bought it, because I love the handle color. This was something that my brother bought me for my 30th birthday. It is a custom designed action figure it's like a modified wrestling action figure.
Uh-huh. That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's great.
And then I don't show this stuff very much, but we've made little trinkets for Relay FM hosts over the years, and this was a wooden block that I had Dudak help me make.
Yeah, those are cool. I think I have all that grouping together, like each year's little present. So we have the space pen, the block, the enamel pen in the alternate colorway, the challenge coin. I'm missing one thing.
Little bits and bobs that we've distributed over the years. I don't know what you should say. I actually don't know where I've put my space pen. I must have put it in. I have like another display thing over there.
Yeah, I don't keep that out. I keep that one
I
stashed
don't
away.
remember who it was that gave us this, but I love it.
Yeah, I forgot his name at the San Francisco Pen Show. As soon as I said what it was, we got a bunch of people yelling at me to who it was, and now I've forgotten again.
I got this from Galaxy's Edge.
Ooh, cool. I like that.
It's from the same trip from when we stayed in the Beverly Hills Hotel. This is a golf tee thing, you know what?
Yeah, it's a ball marker.
We bought a green one and a pink one, and then we swapped them around.
Yep. So you use that to mark your ball on the putting green.
Yeah, it's the saying about like these are my. This is my.
Oh, I need to get a board.
This is the best way to display enamel pins.
Yeah, I noticed you only have your head up there. Where's mine and Anna's?
I don't have them.
Uh-oh.
You never gave me them. This is a
out of all
thing.
these years. Out of all these years, I've never gotten them to you.
You gave me a bag of like 30 of my own head, and I don't have you and Anna.
Oh, that's right. We had duplicates of your head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This goes into the package that I need to send you still.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff on this one.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that. Very awesome.
All right, so I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah, I'd show you more stuff, but like I said, this is my stream desk. So all my home desk. The only thing I have here that Jen's seen is this is my Kerthunker. So this is this is when I do my envelopes here. So it comes up with the little Pen Addict stamp for the.
I want one of those for no reason.
It's my return label address, but it's so satisfying to use. Just go. Yep. So.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for contributing to the campaign. I hope that this has gone some way to give you something a little extra, because we obviously weren't able to make it to Atlanta. Keep listening to the show. Plans more form over time. We're still kind of just waiting. It's like kind of we're in like a holding pattern, so we'll see what we're going to do with everything. But I hope that this has been enjoyable. I've loved doing it. This was a great idea. I was happy we came up with this. It's something a little bit different for people. So again, thank you so much for your continued support of the show and the campaigns. And keep your eye out for updates in regards to the pen. Can't wait to get my hands on that Retro 51.
Yeah, it should be moving quickly now. So the final artwork is in, at least for now, until we find something else up with that. So hopefully I'm going to get to see physical pens before too long, some prototypes to sign off on.
Amazing. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Say goodbye, Brad.
Goodbye, Brad.